Hello, dear student. I am R.P. Upadhyay, Assistant Professor of Physics, Government College Hasaud, District Jangir Chapa. Today I deliver a lecture of MSc Physics, 4th semester, paper first, Condensed Matter Physics, Unit 3, and the topic is nanotechnology. Before discussing nanotechnology, history of nanotechnology, synthesis of nanomaterial, and application of nanomaterials, I want to discuss what is nanoscience. Nanoscience is a branch of science in which we study about the material which has the size 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. Now, what is the nanotechnology? The technology in which manipulation of materials of an atomic scale with size 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. This technology is known as the nanotechnology. Now, before discussing the synthesis of a nanomaterial, I want to discuss how the nanotechnology originates. That means history of nanotechnology are discussed here. The idea of nanotechnology was born in 1959 by Richard Feynman, an American physicist, lectured, "There is a plenty of room at the bottom," at American Physical Society meeting. But the word nanotechnology was first used by N. Taniguchi, the Japanese scientist, in 1974. However, experimental nanotechnology comes in 1981 when IBM scientists built the first scanning tunneling microscope. Further techniques have since been developed to capture images at the atomic scale. These include the atomic force microscope. More recently, scientists working on the nanoscale have created a multitude of other nanoscale compounds and devices, including tiny transistors, superconducting quantum dots, nanodiodes, nanosensors, molecular pistons, supercapacitors, biomolecular motors, chemical motors, a nanotrain set, a DNA nanowalking robot, nanothermometer, nanocontainers, a nanoguitar, a nanoscale fountain pen, and even a nano-sized soldering iron. After discussing the history of nanotechnology, I want to discuss how the nanomaterial are synthesized. Basically, there are two types of synthesis of nanomaterial. First is the top-down approach and the other is the bottom-up approach. Now, what happened in top-down approach? We obtain the nanoparticles from top-down approach, which is clear in this slide. That means top-down approach refers to successive cutting of a bulk material to set nano-size particle. Now, what happened in bottom-up approach? In bottom-up approach, how I get the nanoparticles, which is also clear in this figure. That means bottom-up approach refers to the build-up of a material from the bottom, atom by atom or molecule by molecule. After discussing the synthesis of nanomaterial, I want to discuss the some property of a nanomaterial. Some properties are summarized here in this slide, and the first property, the nanomaterials exhibit different colors depending upon their size. The second one, nanomaterials when irradiated with ultraviolet light emit visible light. The third property of a nanoparticle is lower melting point than bulk material. The fourth is the reactivity of nanomaterials is more than that of bulk material. The next property is nanomaterial is hard as compared to bulk material. The magnetic properties of nanostructure materials are distinctly different from that of bulk material. The next one is average energy is higher than bulk material. Next property is The optical properties of nanomaterial can be significantly different from bulk crystals. Semiconductor blue shift in absorption and emission due to an increased band gap. The next property is electrical conductivity decreases with a reduced dimension due to increased surface scattering. The other property, ferromagnetism disappears and transfers to supermagnetic in the nanometer scale due to the huge surface energy. Next, the nanomaterial has self-purification property. That means you can say self-purification is an intrinsic thermodynamic property of nanostructures and nanomaterial. Due to enhanced diffusion of impurities, defects, distortion to the hereby surface. Next property is the chemical stability is increased of a nanomaterial. The next one is the average energy is high of a nanoparticle material than that of the bulk material. Now you can say that the surface is a major reason for the change in behavior of the materials at the nano scale. Now uh, uh, now we can say that after discussing the properties of nanomaterials, I want to discuss the application of nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is very useful in different areas in textile, automobile and computer based, in defense and etc. I want to discuss the some applications here. That means the nanotechnology is useful in automobile sector. If we use nanotechnology in automobile field, then we make automobile which has the properties more lighter and more stronger with more fuel efficient. And in computer field, the nanotechnology based computer has following properties. That means we make the computer which has the small size, faster speed, more data storage capacity. Then now in textile industries, if we added nanomaterial in a cloth, then we find the cloth which is smell free and dust free and wrinkle free clothes. Here the nanotechnology has broad applications in different areas which is clear in this figure. That means nanotechnology is applicable in textile, biotechnology, biomedical and drug delivery, electronics, engineering and communication, metallurgy and materials, defense and security, and energy storage devices. Thank you.